Those were the words that echoed in Daniel's mind every night. It all began on a stormy winter evening, when the streets of Chicago were slick with ice, and the city lights flickered through the fog like distant stars. Daniel Carter, a 38-year-old single father, was late coming home from his job at the auto shop. His coat was soaked, his hands stiff with cold, and his thoughts tangled with worry. Rent was due, his son Noah had been coughing for days, and the heating bill was sky high. Life had not given Daniel any favors since his wife passed away 2 years ago. But that night, everything changed, not because of a new opportunity, but because of a terrified scream in the alley. He didn't hesitate. Daniel turned the corner and saw a young girl, maybe 12, maybe younger, clutching her backpack like a shield. A man twice her size loomed over her, snarling threats. Without thinking, Daniel stepped in, shouting and drawing attention. The man ran off. The girl didn't. She stood there, soaked and shaking, her eyes filled with more fear than any child should ever know. Daniel took a cautious step forward. "Hey, you're safe now, okay? I'm not gonna hurt you." She didn't speak. She only nodded. He offered her his coat. She hesitated, then took it. "What's your name?" Silence. "I'm Daniel," he said gently. "Let's get you warm." Her name was Lily. And she hadn't spoken a word in days. Daniel brought her home. He had no plan, no legal right, and certainly no money for this, but he knew in his heart that he couldn't leave her on the streets. His son Noah, only 10 years old, stared at her with curiosity and kindness. "You can have my blanket," he offered. "It's the warmest." Lily looked up, startled by the gesture. She didn't smile, but she took the blanket. The days that followed were quiet but heavy. Daniel tried calling social services, but due to the blizzard and holiday season, help was delayed. In the meantime, Lily stayed, silent, cautious, but slowly responding to Noah's gentle chatter and Daniel's patient care. It was on the 5th day that Daniel found her crying softly on the couch. He sat beside her, unsure of what to say. Then, in a voice as fragile as breaking ice, she whispered, "He used to hurt my mom. Then he started hurting me too. So I ran." Daniel's heart broke. She had run from an abusive stepfather after her mother died, ran with nowhere to go. She had been living in abandoned buildings, stealing food, dodging predators. He wrapped his arm around her. "You're safe here. I promise." Weeks turned to months. Lily began to speak more, laugh even. She and Noah became inseparable, like siblings born from different storms. Daniel juggled work, parenting, court appointments, and therapy sessions. With help from a kind-hearted social worker named Monica, he began the process to legally foster Lily. It was hard. The paperwork was endless. The house was small. The money was tight. But what they lacked in resources, they made up for in love. One evening, Daniel came home limping. He'd injured his back at work and lost his job at the garage. The bills piled up. The fridge was empty. Christmas was a week away, and Daniel was at the end of his rope. That night, sitting at the table, head in his hands, he whispered, "I don't know how much more I can take." He didn't think anyone heard him. But Lily had. She stood quietly in the hallway, clutching her sketchbook, something Daniel had bought her from a thrift store. The next morning, she took it, went around the neighborhood, and offered to draw pet portraits for donations. "I want to help," she told the neighbors. "My dad's hurt." Word spread. Strangers came with dogs, cats, even a parrot. Lily sketched with fierce determination. By Christmas Eve, she had made over $600. When she handed the envelope to Daniel, he didn't speak. He simply pulled her into a hug that said everything words couldn't. "You called me your dad," he said, finally. "You saved me," she replied. "Now it's my turn." The strength of a father saved her. The love of a daughter saved him. Eventually, Daniel found work again, less pay, but more flexible hours. Lily officially became part of the Carter family. The living room remained small, the food sometimes simple, but laughter filled the home like sunlight. Noah, Lily, and Daniel would play board games on the floor. They'd burn cookies in the oven. They'd sing off-key to old Christmas songs, even in July. One night, during a school event, Lily stood in front of her classmates to read a poem she'd written. Her voice was clear, proud. "He came when I cried. He stayed when I broke. He held me through silence. And gave me hope." I used to be lost, now I'm found. Because one man, who didn't have to, stuck around. The crowd went silent. Then came applause. Daniel sat in the front row, tears running down his face. Dash dash dash. And that's the power of love, the kind that chooses, sacrifices, and stays. Daniel didn't know he was saving his own heart the day he rescued hers. In a world full of pain and uncertainty, sometimes the most unexpected bond becomes the strongest. Not because of blood, but because of choice. And that choice, to love, to protect, to believe, that's what built the Carter family. That's what made Lily his strength when he needed it most. Dash dash dash. The end. But really, it was only the beginning.